Okay, seeing everybody's here, call this meeting to order. Now, Robin, I know we added.
I added one PCF, and I did send something from Lucy, but I can wait until the next meeting.
Yeah, I can respect.
Review it. There was a bylaw that she wanted us to review.
Yeah, she wanted it done by the 30th. We've got a little time, so. All right.
So you hadn't gotten that before?
But
No, I didn't get it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. First item up is approval of the minutes for April 1st. Any questions or comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second. All those in favor?
Richard, aye.
Fishman, aye.
Flattery, aye. Okay. Minutes of April 1st are approved. We have open time for the public. Anybody? Where did we have Rita on the list, Robin? I didn't get to print that one out.
What are you looking for? What's next?
Yeah.
Request to rescore the treasurer collector's positions, the administrative position
Okay.
and the assistant treasurer collector is next.
And these are both from Unit 2, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll start with the assistant.
Okay, everybody has the paperwork with them?
Let me, now, that wasn't in this last email. Which one was that in? The job description is where?
Treasurer collector scoring was in the email, it should be.
Not in this last email, in a prior one. Oh, no, I see. Okay, it's all one document. I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, I merged together.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So which assistant are we doing? Assistant treasurer or assistant town clerk?
Assistant treasurer.
Okay.
The administrative collector. Correct? Is that what you're talking about? The first one we're doing is the administrative clerk position for the treasurer collector's office.
Oh, I was going to start with the assistant. Okay.
Oh, okay. I don't, either way. Whatever you guys got up. All right. The assistant treasurer collector position then.
Both been there.
Okay, we should start with knowledge.
Okay. Now, Jennifer,
Today's at 3.
is she still with us?
Jennifer?
Is the assistant going to the school for assistant treasurer collector?
Yes.
UMass?
Yes.
Okay.
Providing they have it this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They
They canceled last year.
might. They sent out an email asking, who was comfortable with coming if they did have it. So they're working on it.
Okay.
I'm thinking of 3.
I think it should stay at a 3 as well, if everyone agrees.
Yes.
Okay, it's 45. 3:45. Got to experience. So prior, it was scored at a 4. I don't see going any higher on that.
No, I agree.
I would go with 4.
Okay,
Is that what you said, 4?
that's what I said.
Okay.
How do you feel, Ken?
Yep.
Okay,
I'll go along with that.
all right, we'll move on to the next page. Complexity of duties. Right now, it's a 3. Let's see, what's number 4? I think this could easily go up to a 4.
Okay. I'm on a 3 on this one, looking at the essential functions of the job.
My opinion is 4 because of the so many duties they do. It's pretty demanding. They do everything from the new hires to the benefit enrollment, payrolls, the warrants. They file all the reports to the DOR.
But this says it's considerable judgment to work independently, to devise new or modify and adapt existing methods, techniques, and procedures. That doesn't say that to me in this. This is doing the functions of the job as you described them, but this takes it a step further where they're actually responsible for more than that, more like creating the system or modifying the system.
They do work very independently. I can say that. So that position is a very independent position. They only come to me if they're, if they have a serious issue. And I mean, they're constantly trying to find new ways to make it more efficient as far as modifying.
But it still needs your approval, right, Jen?
What's that?
It still needs your approval with anything?
I mean, mostly everything does get my approval, yes. But the work is all done independently. I mean, not everything is going to pass by for my approval, but,
Yeah.
you know. They do need to have they have to have a knowledge of payroll, of knowledge of benefits, what paperwork do we need? There's like all sorts of knowledge of policies and procedures to go with this position. So when it says knowledge of related organization policies and procedures, and their applications to cases not previously covered, because you're always seeing, new things come up, and, so they have to figure out, okay, so, there's always new laws, and
Right.
so there are, especially in payroll and benefits and, retirement, and they do all of that. And it is a very demanding position.
Does she also have to know the real estate motor vehicle systems as well?
Yes. So she knows that. She knows all of the water. She can run that whole outer office on her own.
Okay.
But this isn't the knowledge section. This is the complexity of the duty.
Yeah, so it says
And you're following kind of standard procedures.
Yeah, so under degree number 4, it says a wide variety of duties requiring a general knowledge of related organization policies and procedures in their application to cases not previously covered. I'm just saying that does come into play, because in what we do, there's always something that wasn't previously covered. There's always new laws happening. There's always changes. I mean, so that is the case.
Then I'd be willing to do what we did the last time, is I would go to 3 points. I don't know, Ken, what do you think?
Yeah, we went up a point, half.
I'll go with a 3.5.
How do you feel, Chris?
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
I'm fine with that. And what is the points for 3.5, everybody?
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Have you moved on to the next one, or do you know what
Yeah, which one?
Well, what are we gonna do as far as the value?
Yes, for 3.5.
What are we going to do with what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We get the value, it's between 45 and 60, so what do you say?
When we do the points, we can do all that.
You wanna do it? All right, we can do it that
That's
way.
what we did the last time. It just makes
Yeah.
it easier. Then we're all focused on the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4, supervision. Received. My opinion is a 4.
I would have it as a 3 based on how it's describing the supervision required. It says the treasurer collector provides instruction for new and unusual assignments. Unusual situations referred to the treasurer collector for advice and further instructions. Treasurer collector reviews the work to remain aware of progress. I don't see that as little functional guidance, which is what number 4 says.
Rarely refers specific cases to supervisor unless clarification or interpretation of organization policies is involved.
I mean, yeah, it says under general direction, works on policies and general objectives as little functional guidance, which is very true. I don't, sit out there while they're entering payroll. So they work and she works and does everything without my guidance. Yes, I do review, but I'm not, there.
But I think you're telling us stuff that I don't see in the job description. I'm going on what's in writing. And it is what it said, that it's at the direction of the treasurer collector. According to this job description, if you read under supervision required. What you're describing fits in under number 4, but that's not what this piece of paper says.
I mean, it does say that they work routine and uses initiative in carrying out recurring assignments independently with instruction. I mean, but it's independently. I mean.
Okay, I'm going to give a 3.
4 for me.
I guess we'll have to come to some agreement. So if we just score it and then discuss some agreement later, we can talk about that.
Can I ask a question about the job descriptions? They have dates on them, 2 different dates, if I'm reading my notes correctly. One set has April 6th, another set has April 11.
I think that's from when they were printed.
That's the date of printing, but are they basically the same job description? I mean, I didn't check it back word for word, so it's just that date that appears at the bottom is the edit date.
Yeah, they're the only ones I have on file from Art.
Okay.
I'm looking at 411, Ken. That's the one I have.
Yeah.
In this package that we just got.
Well, the first email was April 6th, and then it was a follow-up, and it was April 11. I guess my question is, aside from that, is it the same job description that was in force as of August 18?
Yeah.
Description hasn't changed, has it?
No.
Okay.
It is the same job description, yes. I haven't changed the job description.
Okay.
No.
Then I'm gonna ask this question, and please don't take it the wrong way. Why are we rescoring these? The job description has not changed.
Because there's been rescoring going on for a lot of positions that haven't changed per se.
Yeah.
So the job description on the assessor, I mean, her position has not changed. Her job description shouldn't have changed. The Council on Aging, did her job description change? I don't really know, but I feel like that scoring positions are getting graded higher now than when I went to the previous board. And I want to make sure that my employees are graded at a fair level. I know that the highway administrative assistant was just graded at an 8. So for the assistant treasurer collector to be graded at a 7, I don't think there's any parity in that. Like she should, that job has so much responsibility. I just can't see that she would be graded lower than the administrative assistant to the highway superintendent. So I just don't think that the scoring was adequate.
Well, I'm going to suggest something, because this, I mean, you make a case that applies to actually every employee, and unless and until each group of members of this committee do all the job descriptions each time so that we're all on the same page. We're always going to end up, I mean, it tries to be as objective as possible. That's what the system is. But what you're implying is that they're different, that the group before didn't grade the way the group now, and then the next crew coming on may not rate the same way. I guess I'm getting concerned.
I mean, I guess I'm just saying too that positions have been graded like, you know, I don't feel like, so the assistant to the highway superintendent. I mean, I honestly believe that the assistant treasurer collector should be graded higher. So I wanted it scored again to make sure she was in the right spot.
Jennifer, do you think that, and this is where I'm kind of getting confused too, as far as the supervision and all that, because I kind of agree with Francine on that. If she has more of a diverse responsibility, the way it's written on her job description, to me would be at a number 3 as opposed to number 4. And I know what Robin's stating because I've been in that position also.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really state that in her job description. To me, it should have everything that she basically isn't, involved in, and
yeah,
to have it where it's not so confusing to everybody.
I mean, it says unusual situations are referred to the treasurer collector. It doesn't really say that I sit there and guide her and carry out instruction. She's not under complete direction.
Well, we know that a lot of employees aren't going to be watched. Their supervisors aren't going to watch over their shoulders every second of the day. And I want to grade her fair as well. But going by the old job description, it's I'm kind of torn also between supervision 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, the board has to make that decision. I'm just trying to, put in my sense from, what I see at work every day, and that's all.
Does anybody disagree with what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
How about you, Robin?
I think we should continue with evaluating this and go from there. See if it changes slightly. Maybe she needs to do a new job description if we don't feel that the job description matches scoring.
And what I'm saying is what Jen is saying is different. I would rate it differently based on what she's saying than what I'm reading.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Well, it's a board decision. Vote to continue or not. That's your prerogative.
To continue or not on what?
On rescoring this.
Oh.
Well, I feel like they're saying it's not warranted because it doesn't match the job description, what she's saying.
No.
I mean, I guess you could still continue on and go by the job description and see if anything else changes. Maybe it will go up a little, If you would like
I'm out for that. Yeah. I mean, we can do that. And
I'm honestly not going to get around to doing a job description anytime soon. So
you could also have her do it up that she's doing the job. You look it over Well, let's carry on and see what we come up with, and from there.
So we'll each put our own score down, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Okay?
Okay.
for that one. I'm just suggesting that so that we can move on.
Sure. So we go into responsibilities now?
Mhm.
I would suggest a 3.
Wait a minute, we're on, which one are we on?
Responsibility
Body of work,
errors.
number 5.
Yeah.
Errors.
I agree with that. I agree with the 3 also.
Ken, how you feel about that?
I'm going to pass. I'm going to pass on this. I'm sorry. And I'm going to go back. And Jen, please don't take this the wrong way. This has nothing to do with you or your department. I brought this up at the last committee meeting when we looked at this, and I think it was one of Randall's people. And I asked the question twice at that meeting and didn't pursue it. If the job description had changed, and it was my thought process then, it's my thought process now, that if the job description doesn't change, the way it was felt and finalized the last time it did it should stay the same. What does change is the components of this committee.
Well, I guess,
Here, have you
Wait, just wait a
different
minute.
knowledge and opinions?
So if you get, let's say, 2 new faces or three new faces who weren't present at the time that this was scored, and look at the
all new
criteria.
faces.
None of us were here.
It's all new faces.
In 18,
Yep. It was Jim Palermo, George, Charlie Kinnicky, and Art Lawrence.
right? Okay, so now you got. I guess that probably makes it even more of an issue. Now you got 4 different people or 5 different people assessing the same situation, the same job description, and come in. I don't know. I have a real problem with it.
So have you already rescored other positions where the job description didn't change?
Yes, that's why I asked that. That's why I asked that question, and that's why I'm apologizing to you, because I should have taken this stand back there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying don't go ahead with it. Just go ahead with it without me.
So we did, if I just go back, we redid the assessor, right?
Yes.
The COA, we did not. They just did a new job description. We did not do a new score. And the assistant to the highway superintendent, right? Since I've been here, that's all I recollect. Am I right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so we have, this would be the 3rd one. And
Well,
your point's well taken.
I think we may have done the assistant accountant position over the summer.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yep.
And it might be before you were here, but that was recent.
I was gonna say, I don't remember doing that one.
I don't, yeah.
And George should be here, but he was a part of that, right?
George was a part of that, yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of it, even from the job descriptions, especially for the admin one, I don't agree with. And you'll see that it's it's incorrect. I mean, even on the admin one, when they scored it, under character of supervision, they gave that position a 1. That position doesn't even supervise anyone, so it should be a 0. So that's why I want to have this redone, because it's just not accurate.
What are you looking at?
So I'm looking at the admin assistant one. If you look at supervision, numbers 10 and 11, that position actually received points, and they don't supervise anyone. So that should be 0. I honestly believe that it's way off. I don't think it was scored properly. Do you see what I mean?
I took a look at it and I don't agree with it either, Jennifer.
What are you talking about, the scope of supervision?
Yeah, so it's saying that a 1 would mean that there was someone they were supervising, right? That was my understanding. I'm not.
Yeah, we don't put any points there unless you're a supervisor.
Right.
Yeah, unless you're actually like responsible for another employee,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So that's completely off.
So you're saying she should be lower?
That should be, yeah.
That part anyways.
I think that other parts of that should definitely be higher. Like the knowledge on that one being a degree 1, I think that's way off. I mean, that person has to have considerable knowledge on municipal tax law. They're doing MLCs. They have to have knowledge. They're working with attorneys. They're working with bank reps. They have to know all the laws of tax collection.
And I'm going to tell you this, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that is not reflected in the job description.
For the admin clerk, it is actually.
I'm looking at the assistant. Which way you're talking about the admin? Are we doing the assistant or the?
So we were just talking about why I think these should be rescored. So I was just pointing out flaws in the prior scoring.
That's.
I mean, I need to do what I need to do to try to keep office staff. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a really high turnover, and it's always because they're not being paid properly. So I need to do what I can do to make sure that I can keep them at the highest rate possible. And, even if they get scored, I know it's not like they're going to get brought up and get a raise right away, but at least if the town's ever able to get raises, they'll be in a better spot because they're really underpaid for the positions they hold. So
my suggestion, it's probably going to have to be where you have her write up a job description of what she does and all her details, type it up. You take a look at it. And then we can.
So, I mean, are we going to see what happens? Like, are we going to score this one tonight and see where it goes? I mean, or
we can do that if Francine, we've got Rob and myself and Francine, if she's willing to go forward.
I am.
The last thing I did was compare the previous to this one. And so I'm sitting here looking at the screen, trying to compare this to the previous. And I guess I wouldn't think to do that, but.
So what are we doing here? Are we rescoring or not? Let's make a decision, please.
I think you are.
Anyone?
I do agree with Jennifer, what she said, is there shouldn't be, no one should be getting any kind of a score. It should be getting nothing more than a 0 if they don't supervise anyone. I mean, I know that's 1 point, but that's 1 degree, but that translates into points. So.
Okay. Are we continuing with this?
Why wouldn't you be?
I don't know, because we're not moving forward. That's what I want to know. Can we move forward?
No, I just want to make it clear. I'm certainly an advocate of making sure that people get paid for what they should. I just don't think this is the right way to do it. I think the job descriptions are as they are, then people's pay should be increased on a merit basis rather than rescoring their position.
But there is no merit increases.
No, but I'm saying if we feel the job descriptions are not right, we should be.
We got 1-2% raise in the last 3 years. Merit is not a thing.
I understand that. I'm not saying I condone that. All I'm saying is that we have to take a different look at raises. But I also think that if people are bringing these things forward because job descriptions have changed, that is the justification in and of itself. We look at a new job description and we rescore that job description. I think we're going about it the wrong way.
Right, it's a back door, rather than, I mean, if we're going to make a systemic change here, then it should be for everyone.
Right.
We're going to relook at everything.
Right.
With the same set of eyes, then we should do it. That's what I was saying. We're going to have inconsistencies among.
Well, it's
the composition.
Department heads that advocate for their employees.
Exactly.
We look at it.
Absolutely.
So
that's why I say
so that's what I'm trying to do.
Go ahead and go forward with it. I'm going to abstain. That's not going to change the thought process for the rest of you. So go ahead forward.
Look, I'm not comfortable doing it this way. I hear what you're saying, and I think committee has to make a decision for itself. As a group, not as any individual. So I'm willing to hear out, anything that anyone has to say before I decide. And I hear loud and clear what Ken is saying.
I guess if you've already scored positions that there was no change in the job description, I don't see why you wouldn't do this one.
But then we're going to have to do all the other ones, Jen.
Is anyone else requesting?
I would do that. What?
I don't know if there's any other requests, but if other positions were already rescored that haven't changed since the last time they were, then if that's already been done, then you have to really kind of go with what was done.
Right.
So let me ask a question. As a result of those rescoring of whatever couple of positions, did their grade level change?
I believe so.
I don't know that. I'm asking a question of you folks.
You're asking us if the grade level changed of the recent scorings?
Of the result, yes, as a result of the rescores.
Yes. Were you there? You were part of the scoring, weren't you?
Well, but I don't know what it was previous. I mean, I'm not sitting here with the catalog of everyone, which we probably should have as a list of all the employees and their grade and their step. I mean, we should have some common reference.
Do you want to have a vote to either score or not score this position? Because I'm done talking about it.
Well, what we're in a really hard place.
We know how you feel.
Jennifer is absolutely right in saying if we rescored other positions without having new job description, that we can't now put that rule in place for her. because that isn't, all I'm interested in is being fair and consistent. We already created, obviously, an inconsistency that Ken brought up, and that's what I'm struggling with, okay? We already made one mistake. Do we want to compound it, or do we want to go back and try to rethink this process and what is the fair and equitable way of doing this for everyone? They're all in the same situation. I don't disagree that salaries don't need to be
Why did the
more.
scorings change? They weren't done correctly prior.
That? I'm sorry, what did you say?
I don't think they were scored correctly prior, some of them.
I think,
Well, the composition of the people that I knew who had been on this committee before, I think they had, among them substantial management responsibilities
Perhaps.
and HR background.
it doesn't mean they know what was going on just by reading the job description, what, happens in my office. I don't think really anyone quite understands what we do in my office or appreciates that.
Well, Jennifer, I know exactly what goes on in the office.
I know you do.
And I mean, I have no problem going on, seeing where we're at. I mean, what's it going to hurt? But we do need a board to do this.
Yeah.
But
So-
what it's going to hurt is that other people could come forward and ask the same thing and be perfectly justified in asking, because we've gone down this road that we.
Then if that's the case, we've got to be in a position to entertain all of those requests.
Mhm.
And put
Now,
it
as
out
far
there.
as the assessor, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought as far as the assessors, they wanted to make her from non-exempt to exempt. Isn't that the whole purpose of us rescoring her?
Because there was a letter to the file that was the request, not that was the request of the board at the time, that this individual be made non-exempt, even though it was an exempt position. It's been held as an exempt position by people prior to that.
It was not exempt prior.
You mean Mike was not an exempt?
No, he was also paid hourly. He was non-exempt. It was non-exempt per that position, Board of Health and COA were all non-exempt and the reason was because they answered to a board. So they weren't really considered department heads because the board is supposed to be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the reasoning behind that, and that's why they were all non-exempt. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that. I'm just saying that was why. But Mike was never an exempt employee.
Okay. All right.
So are we moving forward? Are we voting? What are we doing here? We've been at this now for 45 minutes.
Yep, I think we've already established that this is what we're doing, so I've made my point, but let's continue.
And you're not going to participate. Is that
Well,
right, Ken?
I'm assuming you are, so that you still have a quorum. If not, then I've got to say, then I will. I don't want to. I'm, caught between a rock and a hard place here. The other issue that I have, and I'll put this on the table, that bothers me from every time I think about this, is that I'm an employee of the town. And I'm sitting here making decisions for other employees, which I'm not comfortable with.
Well, that's what the personnel board does.
What's that?
But you're on the personnel board. That's what they do.
Yeah, I know that, but I didn't know that when I volunteered to come up. Nobody else wanted it, and I said, I'll take it.
Thank you.
But I mean, it's a,
You're stuck between a rock and a hard plate, and I totally understand where you're coming from.
Amen. Damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yes. Friends, are we continuing?
What? I think we have to continue
Yeah.
because we've already started in this direction. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we just say, okay, we've got to go out to everybody
Yeah.
and say, make sure you request a rescore of all of your positions. Because we're doing for some who have asked for it, but we wouldn't be doing it for those who haven't asked for it.
And honestly, I don't know how long it's going to take before everybody asks for it.
Right.
Okay, and I'm going to say they should.
Yeah, I agree.
To fairness, they should.
I agree.
But is that the function of us to do this? Is find another way of increasing salaries when there was not a salary increase? I grant that. I do. I know that.
At least most employees are already in union contracts, so you won't have to worry about all of them, right? I don't know, on the brighter side.
Okay.
And I think that's, sorry.
No, I think we should go forward.
Well, let's move forward.
Francine, I don't want to be forcing you in that direction.
No, we're waiting on an answer from Francine, really. So either we do or we don't. Just make a decision, please.
Then I think we should put it out there and rescore everybody. Period.
Okay, which means we would go ahead
I
with
mean,
it.
but I don't even agree with what I'm saying. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't.
Right.
Every time a new set of eyes comes on this committee, because of the argument that it wasn't scored right by the people before, I mean, at what point are we going to make everybody happy? It's not going to happen.
Right. I mean, and a perfect example came up, I think, the last time we were rescoring, and we were looking at the position at the highway department, and we were talking about, adverse conditions, like smells and that kind of stuff. And I never been in there, but one of you had been in there and said, oh yeah, it's been like this for the last 10 or 15 years. So I went along with that. I mean, probably what I should have done is say, okay, well, let's talk about this later. And I go down and actually go into the highway department and say, yeah, it is, or no, it isn't. So.
And you know what, for many years, I was saying that even before I was on the treasurer collector's office, when I was with the highway, I stated that anybody that's a higher authority on any board should have been in each office, spent a few hours for every department and saw what each department was like and how they ran.
Right.
And everybody thought I was stupid.
Yeah. That is true, Christy. And there are actually towns that do that, where like city council or select board members will go to each department to see like what they're actually doing, so they have a real understanding.
And the good thing, the sad thing is I know what a lot of the departments are like because I worked on a lot of the departments in town. So I have an advantage where you guys don't.
Yep.
No.
Well, I guess what I was saying. Yep.
Well, it will be as I said. I think we need to get the word out if we're going to do this. I don't agree with it at all. I mean, I really don't. But we already started down that road because we've already done one, unbeknownst and not thinking. And I appreciate Ken's bringing it up. But I feel that we are at a crossroads here. So the least I can do right now, as far as I'm concerned, is I wouldn't score it. I would like to take a time until our next meeting and score and think about it in between, and then come back and have that conversation, because I would need to look at other information about the rest of the people affected or unaffected by this, and and figure out how we're going to do it. Honestly, there's a responsibility that this committee has for all the employees. And I think they look and expect equity and trying to do the best that we can to provide that. And equal opportunity. I'm in a tough spot here.
I feel like if other department heads aren't advocating for their employees, I mean, there's supposed to be a request put in for this. It's not something that you reach out to people.
No,
I don't disagree, but
we've established precedent.
yeah.
That's
And you said that you, Jen, you yourself said you heard that somebody's was, I guess it was the assistant to the highway superintendent went to an 8 and yours was a 7. So you heard about it somehow. And other people will hear too.
Right. Okay.
I don't.
Can we, honestly,
Okay, why don't we table this to our next meeting, because we are wasting time.
yes.
I don't want to be here all night.
And can I just mention something again that I thought was a really important document, the bylaws for the personnel committee. It's about 3 or 4 pages long. I sent it to you a few weeks ago. That puts things in perspective. And maybe that's where we will find our common ground to move ahead.
You sent us bylaw committee, what?
I sent the
Call that.
bylaws for the personnel board that I got from our clients. I sent an email
Jacob study?
a number of weeks ago to everyone on this committee. And
Well,
I'm just
are you talking about the Jacob study? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
all right, I'll resend it. You'll see the date I sent it, okay? It's the bylaws for the personnel and policies and procedures board. It's about 3 pages long. It's not the rules and regulations.
It's part of the rules and regulation though.
No.
Yeah, it is part of it. It's
Yes,
actually supposed to be attached together. It's right on the common drive though, under the personnel tab. But it is supposed to be attached together with
Yeah.
the actual regulations.
I'm looking at the hard copy that I have, and I'll look and see if it's in there, because it doesn't look.
It should be the first, they're 2 separate
The first-
documents, but they're
the
one.
first- Okay.
So what would you like us to do with it? I believe that's something that we're working on, ongoing rules and regulation review.
Okay.
Which we have put on hold to do this wage study.
If you need something specifically on the agenda, please say so. And if you don't feel that I put it on the agenda, please say so. Because I'm not sure that you asked me to put something on the agenda.
So is there,
I think for people, for information purposes.
okay, so this is basically the same request that got sent out to the other committees? To look at, this was the same request that went out to the other committees?
No, that's getting very confusing.
Okay.
I don't mean to confuse people. I will find it right now and I'll resend it. It is actually 2.5 pages long. It's not what's in the personnel rules and regulations. It's something different.
Okay.
Okay. And all I'm saying is if maybe that could get us all, if we read it, maybe we would all be on the same page and understanding what our role is. That's what I'm saying. In addition to the personnel rules and regulations, which is more about how we do business.
So are you making a motion to table this till the next meeting?
I move that we table this to the next meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Cole,
Tishman,
aye.
aye. All right, Tishman, aye, Cole, aye, yes.
Richard, no.
Flattery, no.
Now we
So
get,
then that means,
So the motion doesn't carry.
no.
So, well, I'm not the chair. Sorry. Wrong committee.
That's okay. So, motion doesn't carry. Do we move forward? Or what are we gonna do?
I think you have to proceed with a score.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's move forward before we're here all night.
Right.
Okay. So what's the determination? I'm sorry, I'm looking at these things. What was the determination of the tie vote? That we're gonna continue to score or we're not, or we're gonna table it?
We are going to continue it.
we left
And
up,
if I chose, as Ken did, to not participate, would that do? You don't have a quorum.
Wow.
Or if,
I see.
All right, I'll go ahead with it, but we've got to figure a way out of this so that other people have the same opportunities.
yep,
Everyone has the opportunity to request it.
right.
I just don't understand, like,
But some people aren't
Right.
aware that it's even going on. Jennifer, you're a little more close to this issue, I think. Now, there's just because
I
it
think
involves.
everybody's aware.
trust me, everyone's aware.
Yeah.
They all know. I mean,
And then the question is this what we should be doing?
Oh. Well, I think that's, I think that's probably a discussion for another meeting, but we've already established the precedent because we've already done it. And we've got Jennifer half on the table here, so
Yeah.
I think we've got to,
Let's
deal
just
with
move
it.
forward and get this done and go on to next because I know we still have,
yeah,
Ian still with us. He's still waiting nice.
we've got the chief
patiently.
and the highway super waiting, so.
I hear you. Okay,
Hey, we're on number 5, errors.
I put that as a 3.
I would as well.
Right, I'll do 3.
I'm on board with that too.
Are you participating now? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, I said I would now.
I thought you were. I thought you abstained from,
I originally did, but I think we've gone through that with our discussion.
okay, number 6.
Contact with others.
Okay, contact with others. I'm going to suggest a 4.
I'll give it a 4.
Yes, I go with the 4.
Yeah. Agreed.
Confidential data.
Three.
Three.
I would say 3 is fine.
Yep.
Yeah. Mental and visual demand.
I'll say 4.
I agree.
It's fine.
4.
Working conditions. I'm going to go with a 1.
Agree.
Yep.
Can't really go with the 2 with odor and noise. But you can have heat and cold.
What's that? For the cold, yeah. I mean, I know that it says usual office working conditions for degree number 1. And then degree number 2 is just good working conditions. And it's like really related to, I would think, more of a
Industrial.
thing. But I mean, we have a really, I don't know, unusual office setting where I feel like they do deal with not maybe a lot of odor or dust or heat, but you know, a lot of, I don't know how to say it, just like
Noise from within the hallways.
from
the office.
just from like a lot of, you know, being, you know, not treated properly. So I don't know if that kind of relates to this in an actual, I don't know.
Working conditions.
Yeah, maybe not. But they do deal with a lot of grief.
True.
Yeah.
I would be willing to go up 1.5. Because what's described in number 2 is something that just does not make any sense to your office.
No.
No, I know.
But
The way it's described, yeah. It's,
the grief and the noise and the noise.
I'm like, I'm making grief noise.
I have a 1.
Yeah, I would stay probably at a 1.
Yep.
1.
1.
Okay.
Supervision. One.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We're on number 10.
Yep.
Yes.
Jennifer, your point of not supervising anyone should be a 0. Does she supervise anyone?
Yes.
He
The clerk.
does.
The clerk.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 11.
That would be a 1 if she supervises 1.
1.
Okay.
So we need to revisit this value for number 3, complexity, and agree on number 4, supervision.
We gave 3 a 3.5, is that correct?
Yes.
So that makes it somewhere between 45 and 60. 15, 53. Does that make sense?
We're between, what was it, 48 and 53?
45 and 60.
45,
So 53 would be
72, 52 and a half, 53.
There.
right. Yeah, round it up.
And
Okay.
we need number 4.
Number 4, we did not agree on.
Yeah, I think I was at 3 and a half.
Yeah. We had 4s, we had 3s. We can compromise.
I'll go with the 3.5.
Yeah, that's good.
That makes it a 30.
Okay, 30.
Errors, we gave the next one, number 5, we gave it a 3. Is that right? I can't read my handwriting.
Yes.
See?
Somebody want to add those up? Anybody?
Came up with a 31 for a degree.
You came up with a 31 for
Degree.
Do we want to review this before we add them up, just to make sure we're all on the same page and agree?
Yes, I think that would be good.
Okay.
Yes.
Knowledge, I have a 3 that we agreed on, is that correct?
Yes.
Which is 45. Experience, 4, which is 80.
Yep.
Number 3, 3.5 at 53.
Yep.
Number 4 is a 3.5 at 31.
Was it 30 or 31?
I thought you said 31.
The range is, we're looking at what, number 4? The range between 3 and 4, it's 20 to 40, so it would be,
Be 30, wouldn't it?
yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought you said 31, Christy. Okay, so 3.5 with a 30 value. Number 5, errors, 3 with a 20 value.
Yep.
6 is 4 with a 40 value. Number
Yeah.
7 is 3 with a 15 value. Number 8 is 4 with a 20 value. Number 9 is 1 with a 5 value. Is that correct?
Yep.
Number 10 is 1 with a 5, and 11 is 1 with a 5.
Yeah.
What was the first one again? It was the knowledge was 3 and what was the value?
45.
45?
I ask a question, Robin? Of the information that you collected from the department heads about grade levels, can you give that to us?
I didn't get anything back. Nobody knows where they are.
They don't know the levels of their employees? Is that what you're saying? Yeah?
Yes.
And what's in our files? And
We don't have anything except for the grades that we have in the PCFs. We have never hired anybody at a certain stepping grade. We just give them an amount. I don't know how these amounts have been determined.
that's a good question. Yeah.
I came up with a 318 grade.
That's what I have as well.
Yep,
Does that fall in?
yes.
Yep.
So that is a grade 9.
Yeah.
What I would really like to see would be plotting this out the way the Jacob study did, of putting like positions together so that we had a sense. So, well, we'll talk about that
Part
later.
of our rules and regulations, should have a list of each position and what the grade is.
Yeah. Okay,
So do we have
that's a grade 9.
a range for that?
Now,
All right. Go on to the administrative treasure collector.
do we have a PCF?
We don't have anything, we're just scoring it.
Okay,
We can't have a PCF until we decide what the score is.
okay.
I'm
So
not
we're
doing,
looking at it, that's 1240 to 2640. Does everybody agree with that wage, how to read it?
Francine, I won't do a PCF during this
No,
fiscal year
I'm-
21 budget.
No, I was looking at the exempt, so I want to see what that is, 1240 to 2640. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
As no one can do anything without having the budget done,
Exactly.
Yeah.
approved.
So how is it that we could get to some point where we would have everyone somehow graded so that we could look at that?
What did you say? Can you repeat that, Francine?
I was saying, how is it that we can develop a document that shows everyone, even though, and we have to figure this out, if people don't know grade levels or they don't have grade levels, how are we going to achieve that? So that we could start to, to have something that's measurable. Otherwise, we're just like throwing it up in the air and seeing where it ends.
Well, isn't that what we're working on?
Yeah, there's the structure, but how are we going to place those people on a grade level is what I'm asking if we don't have.
Well, if we don't have it, we,
Scoring and see where they meet on our current scale to determine a step.
But the question is, has everybody been following this scale when they're hiring new people?
No one has followed the scale for the last 15 years.
That's what's going to make it more difficult.
There is no, in the real world, you get a step increase each anniversary. And a COLA. Once you reach the top, you only get the COLA raise. All right, so do you want to rescore the next position? Or do you want to move on to Ian while he's here and Randall?
do you mind, Jennifer, we take care of
Oh,
Ian?
I don't mind at all.
It won't be long.
It's fine.
Well, Ian won't, I know that. Okay, where's my agenda?
All right, we have a PCF for Brianna Eichstadt to make her from auxiliary to part-time at $18.50 an hour.
I motion to approve.
I second. All those in favor?
Richard, I.
Slattery, aye.
I'm just looking at the PCF just for a second here.
Part-time, as needed, non-benefited.
Okay. All right. I'll say aye.
As will I. Cole.
Okay, motion carries.
Motion carries.
Thank you for your patience, Ian.
Not a problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a
Have a
good
nice
night.
day and weekend.
You too, thanks.
All right, let's get through this administrative.
Is Randall still here?
Yeah. Randall's still here.
Yeah.
You want to chime in, Randall? Hi. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Well, then that makes it hard for you to hear me. I just thought I'd tune in because I've had a PCF in since January, and I know we've been back and forth. I do appreciate you guys rescoring it for all the good it's going to do. I know if you see the PCF I sent back to you guys, they're still limiting me to what the last person was making. So there's still no
And I would,
logic as to how we hire people, but
and
Right.
I would suggest you rewrite your job description, Randall, because we're
well,
going
I
off.
mean, it doesn't matter. I just got it rescored. There is a range, but I'm still only allowed to hire at a certain amount.
Why
So
is
it's-
that? That's how much is left for the remainder of the year?
Yeah, and I can't give raises on positions when
No.
like every year we've had to cut our budget.
Can you budget for next year, hire them at a lower rate, and budget it next year for a higher rate?
Not if the outlook is the same as last year. I'd have cut $26,000 in wages last year.
We unfortunately can't do anything about your budget if that's what you.
I know, but it just seems like there are positions that get advocated for and get raises, and then there are positions that don't, and it's disheartening.
It is.
So that's all I had. I had nothing specific, but I do need a PCF signed at some point so I can move forward with interviewing. I have a couple of applicants, but I'm going to lose them if I don't get.
We're going to vote on that this evening, and we can do it right away while you're still here.
Sure. I mean, I'm going to hang out anyway because I feel like I miss a lot when I don't attend meetings.
Yeah, we're not in charge of the budget, but everything's filled out and signed by the accountant, so we can move forward and approve it tonight.
Understood. Completely understand. I appreciate your time. You're a volunteer board, but just I know all the department heads who come before you are frustrated, and they're probably all frustrated for the same reason.
Okay. Chris, did you want to skip to the PRF so we can vote?
Yes.
You don't need to go. I don't mind. I'm going to watch the whole meeting regardless. So if you guys want to continue on with Jen, it's not anything to me.
Well, it still has to be approved though, right?
I'm probably going to watch the whole meeting too, so it doesn't matter to me either.
I hear a lot of stuff secondhand, so I'd rather just watch the whole meetings.
Chris, are you looking for the PRF?
Why don't we vote on the PRF, get it done with?
So this PRF is based on our scoring. However, it's signed by the accountant and there's a dollar amount that has nothing to do with us, but we're just approving the position so it can go back to the select board now.
So that dollar amount, Randall, is that based off like the hours that would be, that you would have in that position going forward? So there's a certain amount left. So if you hired someone at a higher rate, would you be able to possibly do less hours this fiscal year? So that way they could, you know what I mean?
No, it's based on exactly what the last person was making.
Yeah, but I think that it's only because that's what's budgeted for this year for that person. But so they're saying there was this much budget for that person, say it's $10,000. So
I believe there's a note. I believe there's a note about next year. There is no increase.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not okay.
It says, please note that any rate over $17.81 for 25 hours per week will be an increase for fiscal year '22.
Yeah, so
I don't know how that works with
where
the,
does that number come from, Randall? 17.
I believe they just took the wage line for, because she got separated out, or the position got separated out onto a separate wage line, and they just took 25 hours divided by 40, divided by 52 weeks a year.
Right.
They requested the wage from my office.
Yeah.
So, but if we come back to the scale that we're talking about here, and it's a grade 8, the range that is
I already did that.
written in here,
9 to 2563.
right,
But I
So
mean,
when you're
the
hiring a
department
new-
head can't hire somebody at a higher rate than they have money for. That's the thing about the restoring that is hard to get past.
Right.
Town needs
So
to,
in turn, it just comes down to a budget item.
That's what it always comes down to.
Yeah.
But when I mean, from my perspective, I heard that selectmen were advocating for certain positions, and during my finance committee, all I heard was crickets. So I'm trying to just advocate for my department,
Yep.
same as everybody else.
Which finance committee?
What's that?
Which finance committee did you say?
I heard that, well, I'll be specific. I heard Francine was advocating for raises for both accountant and COA director. And I apologize if I have my information incorrect, but that's why I'm here watching the meeting.
I think there's
I don't
more
have
than
stuff back in
Francine.
hand.
I think it's even more than just Francine advocating for a raise for the COA director. And I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve a raise, because I do think her wage is low, but there's a lot of underpaid employees. So how can you advocate for one position? And I don't think she's grossly underpaid any more so than a lot of other employees.
She's also been certified, which does bump up.
And so have I.
if
And
we're
I've
using
been certified and I haven't received anything for it.
we're using different yardsticks. There's this scale, and then there's the Jacob study scale, which, Randall, I think is where you got your original numbers from to get the $35 an hour.
Oh, absolutely, because I had nowhere else to establish any range.
So what that scale did was plot people based on their grade level and their salary. That's what it did. And so what the entire select board did in looking at that is looked at the places where the discrepancies were the greatest. Okay, and the discrepancy was for the COA director, and there was one other position. It may have been, and if I mention it, it'll go out like I know what I'm talking about. I'd have to look at the scale again, but there was another position that was, significantly underpaid compared to other employees in the town and for that grade level. So one of the things we all have to agree on is what is going to be the yardstick that we're using.
Yeah, because the Jacob study was never approved, so I don't think that should even be used. And I think a lot of those numbers come from the city of Easthampton, and that's not really a comparable salary to town of Southampton, in my opinion.
Well, and when I just sent it out, I'm not sure, never mind. I don't want to get into a discussion about that right now.
Yeah, I'm not trying to start an argument. I'm just telling you what,
No,
like, why I came to you guys with the rescoring. Just
Why don't we vote on the PRF and board, and then we'll have more discussions at a later time. We seem to be going round and round and round, and we're not getting anywhere.
I'll move the approval.
and I take exception because I'm not advocating anyone any differently than anyone else on the select board who sees a huge discrepancy. So.
okay, that's fair.
I will. Never mind. I don't want to be misunderstood.
Ken made a motion.
Yes.
Anyone want to second it?
All those in favor?
Cole, aye.
Wait, did
Battery
someone
aye.
second it?
I thought you just did.
I asked if anyone wanted to.
Oh, I'm
I will.
sorry. I thought you said you seconded it.
All right, Richard, aye.
Slattery, aye.
Fishman, aye.
And Cole, so we have a unanimous. It goes through.
Thank you very much.
Randall, I will send the approved PRF with our signature to Ed to send to the next select board meeting.
All right, thank you.
Thank you
You're
for waiting,
welcome.
Randall.
Thank you.
Oh, no worries.
Thanks.
Again, I'm not trying to start anything. It's just there's an extreme amount of frustration where you see comps to different positions and everybody's underpaid.
Mhm.
Well, I haven't looked at everybody's position, but I know ones that are because I've seen the comps.
Do we want to move forward just doing all the PRFs before we do the rest of the rescore?
Sure.
Okay. Timothy Putnam for the fire department. What is this? It's a new hire. He's a firefighter paramedic, $22.09 an hour, non-benefited, part-time.
Motion to approve?
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Richard, aye.
Aye. Cole, aye.
Slattery, aye. Next is going to be Rachel Janet Capello. Part-time fire.
Change in position due to
She was
certification.
certified. Okay.
Yeah, so they're lowering her rate because she did not,
She did not pass her, or she didn't take her certification.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's going down from 18 to 1561.
Right.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
second.
All those in favor?
Cole,
Richard,
aye.
aye.
Can I just ask a question about this? I see the comments. The change is because of the certification status. All right. So is she doing the same job or she's not doing the same job?
She's not doing the same job. She's not certified.
But was she doing it and she was certified? Did she
Yes.
lose the certification?
She never got recertified.
So she was certified at one point.
I'm trying to understand
Yes.
this.
She's going down to a basic from whatever the next level was that she was at. Do you know what that's, I don't know what it's called.
It is it says what, she was base probationary paramedic. And you cannot be a paramedic and not be certified. You have to be certified.
Oh,
Yeah, that would make sense. It's just that how is she getting more money when
She's getting less.
Did not, she's getting less.
No, I said,
Not-
how was she
Did
making
not
more?
recertify. She did not renew her certification.
Okay. All right.
So
I
that's
just
why.
want to make sure that it's all all kosher, so to speak. So I'll assume that it is, and so I'll vote aye on it.
And Slattery, aye. That one passes. Last one is Robert Moore.
007.
What does not group 4 mean?
So he's over 65 years old. So if you're part of group 4, it's a retirement group. You have to retire when you turn 65 years old. So he's being moved to a group 2 position so he can stay as part of the fire department.
Okay.
Oh, so this is just a transfer of
Yeah,
groups. Okay.
Same wages, different position.
yeah.
So moved.
A second? All those in favor?
Richard, I.
Slattery, aye.
Aye.
Okay. Go back to Jennifer now. Oh, wait, we have water carryovers if you want to do those.
Yeah. Did Ken, you say aye?
What's that?
Did you say aye? Or
For which now?
for Robert Moore?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing tonight, so I apologize. Okay, so that passes. Yeah, we'll do the water department carryovers. Okay. Water commissioners are asking that 40 hours of vacation time be carried forward for Thomas Gahn and for Dennis Senecal.
I move to approve.
Second. All those in favor?
Fishman, aye.
Richard, I.
Slattery, aye. Okay, that passes. Go back to scoring. We're going to be doing the administrative treasurer collector clerk position. Is everybody ready?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Start with knowledge.
I think it should be a 3.
I agree.
Yep.
Okay, 3.
Moving on to experience. Did we all agree?
Yes.
Okay. 3, it's 1 to 3 years.
Yeah. I agree.
Right.
You agree, Francine?
Yeah, that's fine.
Complexity?
I'd say 3.
I agree.
Yes.
All right, I give it a 3.
Supervision? I would say 3.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay, 3. Errors.
Okay,
5.
errors. I would say a 3 for errors.
I would say a 3 as well.
Yes.
Okay, 3.
Contacts with others? I think it should stay at a 3.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'm between a 2 and a 3.
That's still on contacts?
No,
Yeah.
I was on confidential data. No, 3 on contacts.
Ken didn't agree yet. Ken, what's your
Oh,
opinion?
sorry.
Yeah, 3.
3?
Okay.
Number 7? Confidential data.
That's where I said 2.5. Between 2 and 3.
I'd agree.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Mental visual demand. I would go with a 3 with that as well.
I'd say 3.5.
I would go 3.5.
Okay.
Okay, 3.5.
Okay. Working conditions?
That would,
1.
yeah, go with the same with the other one, 1.
1. There is no supervision in this position.
No.
So now we need to determine the value for number 7 at 2.5.
What was the final degree for 5? I'm sorry.
Number 5
Yeah.
was 3 with a value of 20.
7 between 2 and 3. You want to get a 13? 7?
Okay. A 13 for number 7.
Mm-hmm.
And number 8 was a 3.5.
Give 17.
Yeah,
That makes up for the half on the other one.
yeah.
Add them up.
Okay, so 3 is.
Came up with a 245.
I have 245 as well.
Okay.
It looks like if it scored at a 6.
So it was a 7, now it's a 6. So,
No, it was a 4.
It was a 4.
oh, I'm looking at, I'm sorry, that's the first one behind.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the town clerk.
Well, thank you for rescoring, and I just hope you can, like, especially on this one, I hope you can see that. I mean, I think there were the prior scoring, the degree given was not accurate, you know, and that's what I see. So, thank you for rescoring it.
You're welcome, Jennifer.
You're
Okay.
welcome, Jen.
I'll send you a copy of the scoring.
Okay.
So we have one more.
What did we come up with for what's the range on that? They didn't go back.
11 to 2416, grade 6.
Okay.
Okay. Now we will go through the town clerk. I'm sorry.
Assistant town clerk.
The assistant town clerk, yes.
Okay. Start with knowledge.
I'm going to say 2.
Now, the question here is this is not a revised job description. The date on this is October 2018, correct?
Correct.
So we're back to second guessing other people's decisions, I guess is how I would put it. But we're there.
That's what we're doing, unfortunately. Do we go with the 2 on that, Robin?
I think 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about you, Francine?
Yeah.
Experience?
What is the experience on the job description?
I'd say a 3 for experience.
Yep, it says 3 years related work experience in the description.
Okay.
That's actually gone down.
Did you agree, Robin, or did you have something else?
Yeah. Sorry. I thought you heard me.
I can't hear tonight, I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep going, huh? Complexity of duties.
I would say 3.
Agreed.
I agree, yeah.
I would give it a 2.
You're saying it's not applicable?
Why?
If you look at the essential functions, they're all, to me, very routine, using various, I mean, if you look at the definition.
I know this isn't my department, but I think with this position, we should remember that this person replaces the town clerk completely when she's out. So it may require at times a lot more than what the actual job description says.
So, yeah, going forward, then the job description needs to be.
Yeah, this is.
It doesn't say that in the job description.
What's that?
Doesn't it say that? It doesn't say that in the job description. I'm surprised that it doesn't say that anywhere. Because that's, I don't have that job description, but.
For complexity?
Well, I'm just saying like in general.
Right.
It does state that she does take over the town clerk's duty in her absence under statement of duties, but not under complexity.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah. I'm sorry. I was just thinking that she would be doing like, in that point more complex duties, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll stay out of it.
Well, no, but
That's a variety of duties.
Yeah,
I
yes,
think the point's well taken. So
Yeah.
I would be at a number 3.
yeah.
I'm still going with 3.
I am also.
I'll go with a 3.
Supervision received.
Three.
Yeah, agree.
Well, the only concern I would have is that with the variable, having to cover in the absence of, it almost puts it into, I would say at least a 3.5.
So was that 3?
She goes from being the directed to being
Yeah, you're correct, yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Errors.
I'm going to stay with the 3.
Yeah, I think I would too.
I agree.
This is definitely written for more of an industrial.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 is fine.
Contact with others.
I'd say 4.
You read my mind. I was just about to say that.
Agreed.
Did you say 3?
No, I said agreed. 4.
Okay. I'll take a 4 then. But it really does put her like in, in 2. She should be graded the same way then as the town clerk if she's supposed to assume those responsibilities.
Right.
I mean, this is really not making.
Or half.
I think we keep scoring her on that as the under a special situation where she has to have qualifications, but it's not what she does every day. And I'm trying to put that into some perspective.
Well, she does have contacts with others on a daily basis, so.
I understand that. I do. But I mean, through this whole thing that's what's going through my head.
4.
So you feel better with a 3.5?
Well, I'm just saying where we are with this is because we have to keep thinking of the caveat that she acts in place of, and therefore you would have to assume that it's higher degree.
Right.
So,
I could have said that for my assistant position because it's the same thing, and she will be acting in place in just a couple weeks.
but then
Are you going with the 4, Francine?
yeah, I said yes.
Confidential data.
I would put her to 3.
3.
Well, I agree, 3.
Yes.
Mental and visual demand.
Three.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. Working conditions.
I would say 1 like everyone else.
Yeah. Okay.
So we need to go back to number 4. Figure out the scoring, the value. So it's a 30.
I would say 30.
I have the difference. I got 275.
2 seconds.
Go up very much.
What'd you come up with?
275? Did you come up with that?
No, let me do mine over.
60, 45, 30, 20, 15.
What am I missing? I came up with 260.
Yeah, I just got 262.
Okay.
So it's actually lower. What? Where is it lower? Wait, I'm re-adding this. Did we go down on anything?
Your experience went down.
Oh, yep, that makes a big difference.
Yep.
But it stays in the same grade.
Yep.
Okay. 7 is 1102 to 2489, same as it was.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Next up is Francine. You wanted to discuss the email sent?
Yeah, I do. I think in my view, a committee really talks through everything and agrees on everything. I guess I was very surprised that we went the route that we went, that we didn't have a plan in mind. So we've now put out a question there that no one can answer. I think and had I been more aware that this information is really, from what you're saying, is nowhere. It's not in the PBB files in terms of grade levels and step levels for individual employees. And I just feel like we went way out there, and now we're having to come back and rethink, well, how are we going to get there? And what are we going to do about it? I thought it was a step too far at this point in time. It's not that I don't agree that we should have some kind of a personnel chart that reflects everyone's status, but we don't have it. And it's sort of like we opened up a question for which we have no answer at this point in time.
I was asked to do that, and I'm pretty sure that everybody in the discussion said they need to determine it, not us. So we have to gather the information for this.
Then why do we score positions and then rely on somebody else to have it? There's no record. I mean, that's the question that I have.
Well, you have to remember, we're not there during the interview process when they're hiring these people. So we don't know what their experience is. So they'd have to determine what the wage is based on the scale that we give them.
I'm talking about the grade level. I mean, I'm just starting at like a basic framework in which we can work in an organized way. I'm not talking about any particular individual. I'm just looking at what system do we have in place.
Oh, I'm not talking about individual either, but we aren't going to know where this person is until they're hired.
Right, until we have a range, and that range,
right.
And the position is not, the job description is what the job description is. It's not about an individual and their skills. We put out the requirements, we see how they match up against that, and based on the scale or whatever it is that we're using as a yardstick, there's some room for whomever is doing the interview with the range that's been approved for them to
Right.
make an offer.
But that's not what we're trying to obtain. Right now, we're trying to figure out where everybody sits on that scale. So we can do the math to figure out how much it's going to cost to bring them up to what they should be. A proposal.
But that scale is based on grade level. And you're saying you
We have
asked
to
them and
figure
they
that
don't know.
out, based on the people that are there now, not who we're hiring.
But you said they don't know you said they don't know the grade level. Is that what you said at the beginning of this meeting?
I think.
Pardon?
I think we're talking about two different things here.
I'm
This has nothing to
confused.
do
I don't know what we're talking about now.
Okay.
Me too.
I'm talking about the memo that went out, and I asked at the beginning of the meeting, what were the results that you got from asking the department heads about the grade levels of their employees? And you said they don't know.
They
Okay.
don't.
So you're talking about the April 4th?
Yes,
email.
yeah. And I'm talking about having really not known that we asked the question, we put something out there, and we're no, I like to anticipate what the outcome is going to be before we get there, and not realizing that no one has this information, and how are we going to get it?
We
I mean,
need to
we're going to
figure out
start
where
plotting. We're going
everybody is as close as they are on this current scale.
think that's why at least that's why I like the Jacob study, because it put in a framework. It did, by grade, by position, so there was some uniformity and consistency to it. I don't know, when we plot all of these people, as you're saying, let's look at their salary and then put them on the scale somewhere based on, I guess that's what you're assuming, and their years of experience.
But we can't use a scale that hasn't been voted on.
I understand that, but even if you're using the other scale, well,
We
first
need
of
to
all,
know where they're at now, not where they're going to be at this point in time.
right, right.
We have to determine where they're at now so we can determine where they're going to be at.
Exactly.
We can even have these wage scales approved for the budget, put it that way.
So the information that was requested, has it been received?
There were some receptive people with their wages, which I already have the wages, but I wanted to confirm where they thought they were on the scale. So I did not get any step in, nobody knows their step. Nobody knows their grade.
And
They just know the dollar amount.
yeah, they don't necessarily know that, do they? Isn't that do we disclose that we disclose it to the department head? Does the department head pass it on to the employee?
Oh,
Everybody should know where they're at when they get hired.
I'm sorry?
Everybody should know where they're at when they get hired, including the department head, especially the department head. We just have to never follow the wage scale.
But I think what they do know is that what the salary range is for the position that they've been hired for, not necessarily that salary range is based on two other criteria.
Right, the employees are most likely not going to know where they're at. I mean, but the department heads should certainly know where their employees are as far as step and grade.
Okay. Yep.
I found out from Art when I first started in 2018 where the employees in my office were at. And he had said that they had rescored almost all of the positions, but I guess that's not on file.
How can they rescore the positions if it's not being on file?
I mean, but you guys don't have that, right?
We were forced to, like, when somebody leaves, we rescore and make sure everything is,
But back then in like 2017, 2018, they said they like supposedly did them all. I have it in an email somewhere. It's in my computer. When I was looking up something else, I found it. I don't know. So I don't know if that is still available, like what happened to all that information, you know?
Jen, the payroll's
I have
done
an email from Art too.
out of your department, right?
What's that?
I say the payroll's done out of your department, right?
Yes.
So what information within this request do you have? You obviously get pay rates and.
I'm not looking at the actual request right now, but I mean, I do have pay rates. I don't have everyone's grade.
What payroll system do you have, Jen? Is it still what was before?
It's still soft rate.
It is still soft, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's $13,000 a year that's the one you just got renewal for, right?
So the 13th, yeah. So what I put in though, that's point and soft rate together. And that doesn't just include payroll for soft rate. It also includes the tax title module. So it's 3 different combination. Yeah. So it's not just for payroll.
Okay.
When all's said and done, once we actually get all our heads together and we agree on something, is there a way of actually putting employees' great steps and I'm trying to say into their payroll system under their name? You know what I'm saying? The grades.
Yeah, so we've never done that, so I've never actually looked, but I do think there's a section that we could probably do something like that. I would say most likely yes, because there's tabs that we've never even used because we don't have that much record,
Right.
Well, I would think so.
It would be better to have that also in the computer system, so if we ever need to go back to something, it's easier access than what we have at this point.
Yes, definitely.
I think our board needs to have a master with all of our employees, their stepping grade, their anniversary dates.
Exactly, yes. And we don't have that?
That's what Jennifer gave me a report, and I'm pulling different parts of it out so we can use it.
But we haven't had that before. They didn't have that before.
To go up every year? They didn't follow it that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Jen, could you send me a copy of that report?
I think I already sent it to you when
You mean
I
the
can
one
send
with,
it again. But are you talking about the salary scale, Robin?
Yeah.
So I did send that to you on accident when all you really wanted to know was if there were 2% increases or not.
right, I had that in January. That's the same one.
It's pretty much the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't changed it because there were no increases, so it should be. Did you adjust it at all, Robin?
No, I didn't make any adjustments.
Okay.
I deleted people that weren't there. I really didn't get much information to change anything.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, Francine.
It doesn't say a lot, but okay, thank you.
Is that a report everybody should have received?
What's that?
I
Is that
think
a
so.
report that everybody should have received, or was that just to you and Francine?
I only sent it to the people who requested it.
Oh, all right. I thought it was a committee that
I will send it to you. I got something in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And I agree about whatever information is available should be available to everybody.
Right.
Yeah, I just replied to an email when I sent it, so
Here.
I wasn't trying to not include people.
Yep. No.
No, we know you're not, Jen.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, getting back to the scale, I know that you updated it, I reported it, but I'm only one person on this committee representing the select board. So if you want to submit it to the select board for approval, we need to do that. If the committee takes a vote for all of those schedules that you put together, we need to do it officially. It's not.
Do they have to? They have to approve this wage scale?
Pardon?
Do they have to approve the wage scale?
I believe so.
Isn't that our jurisdiction?
I think subject to the agreement of the select board.
Have to look in the-
I know they vote on the budget, but I don't know that they vote on our
Well,
steps.
that's part of it. Let me just see.
I know that when they discussed the wage scale, they didn't agree that there should be 2% increases on every year because
No,
2% increases weren't actually given. But I think the whole point of the 2% increases being put in every year was to get people to where they're supposed to be.
Right.
That's typically what happens with the scale. They go up 2% every year.
And that's what you proposed. But
Yes.
I guess the implication of the memo that went out was that, at least the way I read it, Ken is also as outside to this process. He wasn't part of it either. We made the assumption then that the implication was that it was a retroactive 6% raise.
Nobody said that. It didn't
That
say
it would
that.
not retroactive.
It
That
said
it
it's
would
a proposal.
It would be.
We're working on a proposal. That's it. It didn't say anyone's getting anything. It says
Oh,
we're
no,
not.
it mentioned the number 6%.
No, it didn't.
It did.
I did not read 6% anywhere.
Then I must have done the math when we were talking about the years.
There was a select board member that said that at the select board meeting, saying, so basically we're just going to give everyone a 6% raise. We can't afford that. So maybe that's where that's coming from.
Ken, what did you see? I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to find my
Yeah, why don't you just read it out loud?
the email that I sent. But I mean, the issue was, I guess, as far as the memo was concerned, right off the bat, the subject line says FY22 wage increase. That's got to get everybody's attention when they get that memo. And I think that was the first issue. Then we get into, they'll project the budget of how much it will cost to bring everyone up 2% each fiscal year since the last increase.
So that's where I did the math.
Right.
Keep
So
on reading.
And I did it in my head.
see, and Robin, I think I said this. It wasn't that I was disagreeing. I think my concern was the way it was stated, that people will read that. First of all, they say, okay, possible wage increase for fiscal year 22. And then, each of these addressees reads this and says 2% each fiscal year since the last increase. So there's 6%. And once we have the current numbers, we'll submit a projection to the select board and the finance committee to be considered for the 2022 budget. So there's a misconception in there. I mean, people could look at that and take it one or two or three different ways. Then we get down there, it says, we hope to have these figures by Thursday, April 8th, which has gone by.
From them. Yeah, I was hoping they would respond for our next meeting.
Right. So I guess that's where I was coming from. And then it goes out over everybody's name, including George, who's never been here.
He's
So
still
he
a
had
board
nothing to do
member.
with this yet. He's part of it. I just
I think that the real issue is that put your name down. I'm sorry if I used your name. I put your name down because you're part of the board. And I want everyone to know we're trying to make an effort to increase these wage scales for them.
I don't disagree with that, Robin, but the implication is that if my name is there, I've seen this memo and I agree with everything that's in it.
We talked about
I know we did, but it's just the way it went out was not the way we talked about it. I agree with the wage scales. I think we should be concerned with the wage scales, the one that is current, which is the one in 2017, and then take it for 2018, 2019, up until 2021 and say, if everybody had gotten a 2% raise, this is where they should be. And this is where they are. And then what do we do with the difference? And I appreciate the work going up to 2030, but I don't think that's the issue right now. I think the issue is, where should our people be if they got the 2% raise every year, which they didn't? And how do we get them to that level?
They should have.
Fiscal year.
But this is all predicated that we know everybody's grade level and that
Right.
information is
That's beside the point, yeah.
That's what makes it difficult.
Well, we were going on what the select board asked us to do, which was update the wage scale. So we went ahead and did that.
Right.
And
now we
it's
and now
not-
it has,
But I
now
think when it comes down to finance committee and select board and you know, and the PQB, our concern is, as of today, our people are here and this is where this exercise says they should be. And what are we going to do about it? What can we do about it?
What are you going to do about it? Honestly.
That's
You
not
can
for me to decide. It's for the finance committee and for the select board.
So let's
I
do
do know,
something
so
about
I
it.
can tell you what people,
That's what we need to
I
present
can
them.
tell you what people are saying about it. So thank you, Robin, for making an effort for advocating for employees, because, you know, that's important. And I can tell you that employees are saying about it is that they don't think it's going to happen because they have no faith that they will get raises. So, because there's never any advocating for employees to get raises. We have mostly contractual employees, and then the few that aren't are the ones that are always like, can't even get a 2%, when honestly, it doesn't even cost that much money for that like group of people to fit that into the budget. So, I mean, it's just absurd. I mean, the money thing, but it is. And it's like, that's why we don't have a town accountant. I mean, like, we couldn't just give her, you know, a little more. She was doing a good job. Things were in order. Things were going great. And now, you know, that office, it's a disaster. I have to work with that person closely every day, and all because people, you know, we don't want to pay people proper wages. I mean, things are like, it's not going to be pretty. We will be lucky to submit a Schedule A. The accountant does that. Our prior accountant doesn't know what a Schedule A is. Okay? And if we don't submit that, guess what? No local aid, cut off. You know, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a mess, all because we couldn't give, you know, someone that was doing a good job another, you know, what, $5,000? Now we're paying $46 an hour to a temp agency. Like, who makes these decisions? How do we think they're good? Oh my gosh, I get all fired up. I can't even handle it.
I think that it's being misconstrued that no one wants to give raises and that the intent is not to try to increase salaries for people, because I sincerely believe that everyone on the select board certainly realizes that we need to pay our folks more. The issue is, where do we get the money? Certainly, you know, we're not bending it.
How are we finding
we have to go back
$6 an hour for an accountant now, when the prior one was only at what, 34, 33? So now we're paying 46 to someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
So,
like, it makes
Jennifer, this is, I'm going to say, those kinds of comments at this point in time in a public setting, I think are inappropriate. I don't mind you having.
I'm sorry, but it's very frustrating.
And
you know what? I work very closely with the town accountant, and I find it inappropriate that I wasn't even involved in the hiring of that person. You know, Ed, actually, I spoke to Ed about that. He said, "Oh yes, we'll involve you." Oh no, there is no involvement. You know, I'm on the finance team and I haven't even seen the budget. I mean, everything is done like, I can't.
Okay, Jennifer, the way we're looking for things like revenue, I mean, we all need information on which to make.
Yes, and you know what? I have all revenue put in, Francine, and the accountant doesn't know how to post it.
And we
Okay,
don't.
we're going around the bush here, and it's, everybody's getting heated, and we don't want to be doing that.
No, I don't want to do it either. All I'm saying.
I just want to make one other comment, all right? I would appreciate it, and I'm speaking for myself, not for the finance committee, not for anybody else. I'm speaking for myself. Don't characterize the present members for what's transpired in the past. From my standpoint, what's that?
Nothing. This was pretty recent, what I'm speaking of, but It's just frustrating. And I guess.
No. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
Thing. I'm just saying, I mean, it's come out loud and clear to me in a couple of instances. A department head has basically said, what I wish for, why waste the time? Because I'm telling somebody that I need it, I know I'm not going to get it. Well, you know, if you tell that to me, then I'm going to say, why? Why do you feel that way? And what I'm saying is, as far as the finance committee is concerned, and I'm not speaking for them, we're all new members. We all come to the table with a different thought process than probably what has been there in the past. I can't account for what's gone on in the past, but I just don't characterize the present membership as being going to operate the same way.
Yeah.
Except that, I mean, the issue for all of us is we have to live within our means.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is where the dilemma is, and then it goes forward to the town people. Certainly, we've raised the issue of 2.5%, override in order to accomplish things. Salary improvement and increases being one of them. But ultimately, it's going to go to the town, and they're the ones who are going to vote. We only can we're not making the decision. We're going to give people information so that they can make the decision. And my problem is, I'm not sure we have all the information at this point. About this particular thing that we're talking about. I don't know where it takes us because I haven't seen anything in black and white yet. I see the scale, but I can't match it up with the people. I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to have a sense of where we're going, what it's going to cost, and how we might get there.
Right.
So then let's do this. The next meeting, we need to come together as a board and work together. We're not going to all agree on everything, but we can work together as a board.
So I would
come up with answers.
So I would recommend at this point that you send out the scales that you revised, that they be formally submitted to the select board for consideration, and then we move on. I mean, but like I said, I'm not going to take it on me because I'm not speaking for the committee. I'm one of 4 or 5 people on this committee. I can report, but I don't speak for it. So with that, we can talk about how we might want to do that, when we want to do it, and just do it and get it off, get it out of this level of discussion and move it forward. That was my recommendation.
All right. Any other comments to that?
Not here.
So you're recommending that we submit the wage scale that Robin presented last meeting to the select board for consideration?
If we're talking about saying, well, the board hasn't approved anything, let's get something in front of them that they can consider.
I'll send it
I think they're anxious to look at those things.
Yeah.
But again, I'm sure their question is going to be, well, how does this impact us if we don't plot people on this whole thing? That becomes a question.
We can say something else, but it's not going to make a difference until we figure out where everybody sits on that salary scale. We can't give them a projection without knowing that.
No, but that's the instrument that we use. Then we've got to go back and plot it somehow. And I don't know that that's just the responsibility of the PQD. I don't know. I mean, you've gone to Jennifer, you've gone to department heads, all trying to figure this out, and we still don't have an answer. I think clearly, I don't know if finance can think of a way in which we could accomplish this.
Well, I mean, I think our first meeting on April 20th is going to give us some direction.
Yeah. But I do know that, and I'll say this, I know that a priority for the select board is to do something about the salaries. What is the answer I don't have?
So you made a motion to submit it for their consideration, and Robin, you seconded it?
I
I
didn't.
will, but
She
suggested it, but I don't know if that was.
I didn't, I just made a recommendation. I think we need to talk about it. You have points of view. I'm just sharing mine. I don't want to decide for the group. I want to have input. I want us all to, to think about it and agree to it one way or another.
But
I'm happy to forward the wage scale to Ed for them to review. We're going to vote on this because I'm not doing anything again without a vote.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, go ahead, Ken.
But we've already requested that information, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was in the memo. And we haven't received everything that was requested.
No. I have most of the wages already from Jennifer.
Okay.
Sure.
We're just trying to determine where they sit on that step scale. And maybe we have to have a meeting and just go by one. Look at the pay scale and say that, oh, they fall right here. This is closest. That's where they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to do it.
There really is no other way of doing it. We'd have to do it that way and look at their pay rate and then see where they fall, because nobody knows anything and it's going to have to be up to us to figure it out.
Right.
No.
Well,
and the other thing is, according to Jen, we got two in out of Jen, 3 years or 4 years, we got 2 years of 2% increases. Is that correct? 18 and 20.
There was an increase in 18, not in 19, and an increase in 20, not in 21.
Okay. Can I just ask a question about the scale that we're using? It's dated April of 2017. That puts us into fiscal year 18. So that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then that would have accounted for the raise in 18 would have been built into that schedule. So we didn't give a raise in 19. Is that what you're saying, Jen? And then 20?
April of 2017 is officially fiscal year 17.
April is 17.
April?
It's fiscal year 18, isn't it?
It's fiscal year 18, yeah.
No.
yeah, but all that,
you're right.
First would be 9, yeah.
all that indicates is when it was compiled. It doesn't say
Doesn't mean they got a raise, yeah. That's
But
just
when that was first
when we
used.
updated it.
But if that was based on the data, and that's the question I have, of April 2017, that would make it fiscal year 18.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. All right.
Well, we can make a motion. I'll make a motion to present the wage scale to the select board for consideration and take a look at it. And then we can go from there if this is going to get this moving.
When?
Can I make a request? When you do, can I just say, I know you did 2017 through 2030. If we could just go
Up to current year, yeah.
up to the current year.
Overwhelmed.
No, we're not.
Okay.
But when would you submit that?
When?
Yeah.
I'll give it to Ed next time I have an opportunity to sit down at my computer. And then he can put it on the agenda.
Yeah, I just have I'm a little concerned about putting the cart before the horse. whether it makes more sense to have the budgetary discussion on the 20th and see what comes out of that.
But I think the scale is still the scale that.
No, I know, but
that just gives us information.
May get lost in the budget process, I guess.
Yeah, it may not come up this meeting, you're right, but.
If you want to put it on Ed's desk, that's fine. I mean.
Yeah, I don't expect it to go on Tuesday's meeting, probably the following.
Right.
So, well, then I'll put a motion that we submit the wage scale, current wage scale Robin created to select board for consideration. And then we can move forward from there.
Okay, I'll second that. So it'll be, and then for discussion purposes, we said it would be from 2017 to 2021. Is that correct?
Right. Right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor?
Richard, aye.
Slattery, aye.
Who motioned and second?
I motioned. Francine seconded.
Seconded.
Thank you.
Passed. So we can, Robin, if you get a chance, whenever you get a chance, if you could just forward that to Ed,
I will.
that'd be.
I'll do it before Monday. I'm sure I'll find some time over the weekend.
And I guess, and this is not questioning anything. Should we look it over? I mean, I'm assuming you used some formula and you tabulated it.
We can review it.
Yeah, that you did it by hand.
More time before I submit it. Do you want to do that?
I just want to know how it was done. Did you use?
I just added 2% and
You
added
did it.
the whole formula.
Okay.
But you certainly can review it to make sure it looks accurate.
Christy, you said you double checked it, right?
Yes.
Well, then if it was double checked, I'm okay with that.
Right.
My feelings won't be hurt if you review
No, I
it.
didn't know, you could just extrapolate it and, use an Excel formula or something and just go with it. That's all. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, Robin, you have down here current wage scales clarification and ranges for recent scoring.
I want to make sure we're all reading these correctly. I mean, the last two people we scored, we messed it up, and I just want to make sure that we're all understanding these.
I think we were only following the arrows. That was it.
We're on the same page. I think we got it right, but I just wanted to clarify because I don't want to do it wrong again.
Right.
The whole board and the people that were involved as well in the scoring.
Yep.
But yes, I sent them, we highlighted the arrows. I think we got it now, but I just wanted to make sure everybody has an understanding.
Yeah.
Grade is across, steps are up.
Okay.
Grade is horizontal and steps are vertical.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Just starts at the bottom and goes up.
Oh, that makes sense. A good way to remember it.
Okay, next thing, it's a request from Janet Kane to encourage the Personnel Policy Procedure Board to revisit their groupings proposed by Jacob Study. April West has questioned if the personnel policy is currently working on a better way of scoring town government positions. I had sent April an email stating that we are looking into it. It's a work in progress. I do want to see if there's something better than the Jacob Study out there.
The Jacob Study is a company that we paid to do this. to extract the information. UMass does it. There's a lot of people that do this, but it's a very expensive study.
Yeah.
We were sitting at a meeting the other night, and I don't recall, I think it was Lucy, basically said that the number that was in her area was incorrect.
What number?
What number?
Her hourly rate, wasn't it, Francine?
Yes.
Yeah.
She said that was not her hourly rate, what was in that study.
In the Jacob study? Yeah. What they do is they pull information from the benchmark survey and see what the average is.
No. They use the current salaries of our employees and then compared it to the other towns or whatever they gathered information from. So she's saying that her salary was incorrect. So
I don't know. I wasn't involved. I know it cost quite a few.
and again, going back and verifying, was that information correct? Because really, your head spins with all the variables that are out there.
I think it's warranted for further discussion another time. Because it looks like to me the Jacob study was just based on Easthampton positions. The way I'm looking at it.
I don't know. I know Art had asked me for wage scales from other municipalities. One of them is the Easthampton one I gave him just to compare. So I don't know if he put it in here just to compare or,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because he lists similar sized towns in the introduction of this survey. He lists 7 other towns like Berlin, Deerfield, Granby, Hadley, Munson, Southwick, that would be Groveland, wherever that is, that would be comparable to Southampton. That's where I don't understand. I know what you're saying about Easthampton because it's a table at the end of it. I don't know. I made the assumption in reading this that they were comparing us to these other towns.
Well, I'm looking at it. It says proposed salary minimum, proposed range benchmark. A benchmark is just an average of what other positions do.
Yes, but did he get it from these other towns or did he get that benchmark?
I'm sure the company got it from the benchmark survey from the MMA.
Mm-hmm.
My guess.
Okay.
Which I believe Ed is a member of, and he can get that information, the benchmark survey. We should be participating in the benchmark survey every year. They ask every municipality what their wages are for their employees.
Why don't we participate in that? What happened last year, Robin?
What happened? I did get an email, but I don't have access to the MMA. That's Ed. I'm not a part of that.
Oh, okay, so Ed would have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay.
No. I'm tired.
It's been a long day. Okay, so call that we adjourn this meeting. All those,
So moved.
thank you all.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
And our next meeting is it the regularly scheduled on the next Thursday?
I'm not sure when it is. I don't know. I'm not online to look. I don't have the date with me.
Okay, well,
Get online. Hold on.
we'll hear.
I'm just going to log into my town real quick. April 22nd. What is it? Okay, May 20th. We're already past when? What's today? The 15th.
Today's the 15th.
Today's April 15th. Our next scheduled meeting is supposed to be April 22nd. So we can meet on the 22nd. That's next Thursday, isn't it?
This is a specially called meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, it's a week away.
All right, we will have it scheduled for the 22nd.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you all again and have a wonderful evening.